Update by Sheldan Nidle for the Spiritual Hierarchy and the Galactic Federation, August 8, 2015. To Akbal, 16 Pop, 12 Manik. Selamat Jaran. Nearly 13 millennia ago, your ancestors arrived on this living orb. Like all new colonists, they first agreed on a beginning. This became the lost continent of Muror, Lemuria. At the same time, the colonists set up their settlements in Agartha, inner Earth. These first steps were in remembrance of the destroyed first colony, which you know as Hybornea, the land of the North Polar region. This land was settled about 2 million years ago. These colonists eventually went to Mars, and settled on its inner lands about 1 million years ago. These colonists used this Martian land as a way station, in order to successfully evacuate to safe Galactic Federation solar systems in Lyra and Centaurus. A similar plan was to be copied by the Atlanteans and their compadres, when they moved from Gaia to Agartha in Centaurus some 13,000 years ago. Following this mass migration, Heaven assigned us to watch and only interfere when necessary. Your planet, Gaia, was temporarily given to the Anunnaki, the remaining governing group from Atlantis, to govern until a set date of recovery. Heaven wanted to prepare you for your future role in this galaxy. This very brief outline of system history is necessary, for you to better comprehend where you are now in the timeline, set up so precisely by Heaven. Historical dates in the Galactic Federation are set by relationship to a great year, of 26,250 Earth years, of approximately 360 plus 5 days. This calendar was given to a number of ancient peoples like the Maya, the Egyptian and Tibetan civilizations nearly 8,000 years ago, by the Anunnaki date maker known for instance in Egypt as the god Tahuti. This was done under sacred edict, and a number of calendars resulted from these actions. We are constantly watching over this, and need to correct these calendars shortly before we land. These documents are actually very accurate. They are based on the movements of stars such as the Pleiades, and planets such as Venus and Mars. Each of these objects has orbits that can be measured to calculate a yearly set of dates. These dates reflect energies collected from a number of constantly changing geometric sets. These sets can be used to plot key moments in the life and times of societies. It is necessary to see this galaxy as emitting energies that can be collected by those who understand the significance of these geometric calculations. The Anunnaki assigned a number of their kind later to confuse these set dates, and thereby alter history to what their councils so wished. Hence, these ancient calendars, while still somewhat accurate, lack the ability to reflect what the original timekeepers intended. Our wish is to restore these calendars, and introduce you to the highly accurate date keeper of the Agarthans. Agartha alone kept the many traditions first used in sacred joy by the Lemurians. You are to meet your ancestors when we finally land. Before this grand event, we are to address you and lay before you the history of Lemuria, Muror. When you look in detail at their language and customs, you are to see clearly how the Anunnaki divided you, and how the Atlanteans lowered your consciousness and altered your RNA-DNA. The sacred time for a spectacular reunion of surface and inner Earth humanity beckons. In accordance with this history, we started the opening vestiges of a first contact mission nearly 2.5 decades ago. Initially, the first steps were made not knowing how the Anunnaki and their minions were to interfere with these many projects. This caused us to seek assistance from those who so dearly wished to aid our sacred cause. We are now in the final stages of preparing events, which when manifested are to forever transform your world. The minions of your world, the Dark Cabal, are at the point of no return. A large worldwide group of opponents are poised to oust them from power. In addition, this Cabal presently lacks the resources to continue. Taking this into account, the time now approaches when a number of needed announcements can be made public. We, in your name, have been able to schedule a series of actions. Our belief is that your allies can come forward and transform this present gloom into light. This requires that you join us, by using your inner focus to visualize the reality that together we are all to manifest. Gosho Ba Shen, Syrian for Action for All. Blessings, we are your ascended masters. As you wait in frustration for the day when your blessings are to arrive, a few notes on this matter. After the fall of the Anunnaki in the mid-1990s, those former minions who were dedicated to their nefarious plans refused to stand down and permit the rise of a new era under the control of a number of secret sacred societies and the many ancient families. This defiance of heaven worked for a decade. Then their dastardly schemes started to fail. By the middle of the next decade, our blessed associates began to gain the upper hand. These failures signaled to the light that its time of rapid ascendance had at last arrived. We decided to force some key issues with our allies, and were able to get a preliminary date for various deliveries. So far, these strategies are operative, and we expect, dear ones, that these dates are to be met. These circumstances ensure deliveries are to commence shortly. One must remember why these enormous amounts of funds were set up in the first place. Our beloved Master Saint Germaine wished for this time to present his chosen ones with a degree of funds sufficient to redirect how the wealth in this realm was redistributed. Thus, it was initially necessary to alter how this insensitive group of heinous autocrats, the Dark Cabal, was redirected. The trap was to be a new banking and monetary system, which was to drive them in a few centuries to be primed for the perfect trap, the rise of fractional banking. The point where this trap was ready to be sprung first occurred at the start of this millennium, and then again 1.5 decades later. The second point is much more advantageous, and it is now being readied even as we speak. The final point of this heavenly plan is to be released, and is to result in the final defeat of these most misguided and misdirected souls. Often, in the strange history of the surface realm, our compadres are frequently ignored or discounted by the ones in power. His most holy being, Count Saint Germaine, knows of this, and has quite skillfully created a blessed scenario, which despite its long run of over 2.5 centuries, is currently able to obtain the desired results. When you shortly receive your blessings, rejoice, and with great dedication carry out your sacred plans to transform this realm for the better. Be aware as well that your allies are fully prepared to protect and aid you in your numerous blessed efforts. This realm is to be united with our cousins from inner Earth. Together, we are to alter this realm and this solar system for the good of humanity, and the directed degrees of heaven. For this Gaia smiles upon all of us. Remain focused, and be positive about what is to happen. The future of Gaia's humankind is about to begin. Today, we carried on with our weekly messages to you. A great change in the surface world is now assured to occur soon. The Dark Cabal is on its last legs. Under this process, a series of special agreements are in effect. These have put us in a position to execute the last series of operations, and the results are to be known to you as they happen. The next period ahead is a most joyous one. Know, dear ones, that the countless supply and never-ending prosperity of heaven are indeed yours. So be it. Selamat Jaran, Selamat Ya. Syrian for be one, and be in joy.